we got a problem with not getting fuel on my mower, and so I'm going to take the carburetor apart and see what the problem is. I disconnected the fuel line and comes off the bottom of the tank, runs over here, runs through this cover, and then around and into the carburetor here, and I'm getting fuel to here, so the problem's got to be past there, which is in the carburetor. I sprayed starting fluid in the carburetor and it'll run, and if I keep spraying fluid it'll run, so for some reason it's not getting gas. So I'm pulling this off and I'll get into the carburetor. Well, the next thing I'm going to try is take this diaphragm off right here and see if it's clogged in there. So there's 3 screws on it. I'll pop that off. We'll see what we got. Okay, I pulled the diaphragm off. I don't see any tears in the outer cover. It's a little dirty, and I'll take that fuel line off and blow it out. Make sure it's not clogged there. And then the rubber on the inside looks okay too, no tears. So, and you can see the gas dripping through there. So we'll keep going, keep searching. Okay, I got the diaphragm off, and you want to be careful when it's off with the springs in there. There's a big one there, and then there's another one back under there, and there's a spring that runs the diaphragm right there. So don't lose those. There's 4 screws that hold the top of the carburetor cover on, and I'm going to pop those off. I disconnected the choke cable, and I'll take those 4 screws off and see what we have in there. See if the float's sticking or something. Okay, I got that top plate off. There it is over there. And the float looks okay underneath. It doesn't have any gas in it, so it doesn't have a leak. And I blew out those little portholes and took the needle valve off from the bottom of the carburetor and blew that out. So I think I'm going to put it back together and see if that will take care of her. While I have this apart, this is the float here. I'm going to pull this pin out, pull the float off, and blow out the little needle valve under the float and make sure that that's not clogged, because the gas goes through there, and if that's clogged, that can prevent it from the gas from flowing through the carburetor. The little needle valve or float pin is right here. You just grab it with the needle nose pliers and pull it out, and then the float will pull off. Okay, I pulled the pin out and lifted the float out. You can see the needle valve there, and I'm going to blow out that hole that the needle valve goes up and down in. See if that's clogged. Okay, we got the gasket off. This is where the needle valve goes. I like to spray it out with carburetor cleaner. And all the little portholes. And that went in there and shot out here, so that the gas runs through there and comes out there. And then I take my compressed air, blow them out, make sure it's all clean. And then I'll put it back together. Gasket. Float. Make sure the needle valve's on there properly. And then slide the pin back in. There you go. I just got to get that pin through. And we'll put it back on. Okay, one last thing I'm going to do before I put it all back together is spray out these last couple ports. There's one right here that goes down to the fuel mixture. Comes out the bottom. You'll see it shoot out the bottom. See that? You can see it down here. It's cleared out. And then there's a hole here that comes out straight up. And then one last one over here that goes back into the bowl. And that's clear. So we've got it all cleared up. I'm going to put it back together, see if that takes care of it. Okay, we're looking at the front of the carburetor here, and the last thing I wanted to show you is the air-fuel mixture adjustment screw. And no matter what kind of carburetor you have, those typically are set from the factory at 1.5 turns out. So you turn it all the way down clockwise and then back it off 1.5 turns, and that should be set close to the factory spec, and then after you get it started you can adjust it so it's running real smooth. Anyways, I got it all back together, and we'll try to start up and see if that fixes the problem. Okay, we'll turn it over and see what it does.